John, when you were at school and you had these great ideas of being what? What did you want to do?
Oh, interesting. No, the original plan was to be a pilot.
A pilot?
A pilot.
Wow.
Yeah, I was too short for the police.
Yeah, yeah, I had that problem.
Yeah, and but unfortunately, those plans went out of the window, and I fell into civil engineering and surveying.
Yep.
4 years of university, and then a couple of years land surveying, and then over to Hong Kong. Worked on major civil engineering projects over there on the new airport, and a couple of other projects. And then came back and decided to get into more commercial areas, selling.
Yep.
So after a couple of roles, I ended up as a rep for a company called Reliance Water Controls, selling valves and showers and so on. And then from there, it progressed through to a company called Gummers, who made thermostatic showers in Birmingham. They were acquired by Masco, and I went through a number of roles with them through Demixer, looking after B&Q. And then on to looking after the overall retail program for Bristam and the DIY.
Yep.
And then ended up selling shower trays with Just Trays.
Really? Wow. And you joined the business roughly when?
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Cool.
10 years ago now.
And from my point of view, from what I've seen, obviously, I think it was there when you guys celebrated 30 years.
30 years last year at KBB.
Yep.
Yeah, we made a bit of a song and a dance there.
There was literally a song and a dance.
With our brass band.
yeah, making a lot of noise around KBB. But the business has been here 30 years, so you've been here obviously a good chunk of that. And your role when you started?
Sales and marketing director. Same role.
And it's evolved quite a bit through that time, not only with the product, but as a business as well. Got a lot bigger and moved forward.
It's been a really interesting 10 years because, and we'll come on to the market and so on later on, I'm sure. But in terms of the business, great time to join as a sales director just as the recession hits. So sales go back rapidly, the market shrinks.
Yep.
And obviously that shook the market up as well in terms of where we were positioned, the customers that we were dealing with, where we positioned our brand in the marketplace. And we had to go through some significant changes from a production perspective. We had to unfortunately let a load of people go. No different to anybody else in manufacturing at the time because the market had shrunk by 25-30%. So we had it was a chance to reevaluate the business, and the business people within us always say that a recession is not actually a bad thing for a business because it gives you a chance to look inside yourself and reestablish what your values are, take out where the fat is in the business and become leaner and become more efficient and become more effective. And that's very much what we did. Very painful, as I say, but as the market grew back, we developed new product. And we've, as you rightly say, we've grown the business to past where we were at the time. So it's been a long and tough time, but we're very pleased with where we are with the business. We are a manufacturer, and we're hugely proud of being a manufacturer in the UK because there are very few of us left.
Yep. Well, here in Leeds, obviously, and it hasn't been too dismal today, which is quite interesting on the journey up here. But with the whole manufacturing process, shower trays have come a long way. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have had to change over that time. You can remember shower trays being, sort of like a good 110 to 150 mil deep, stepping up into them. And in some instances, that would have been on legs as well.
Yep.
So there had almost been a decent sized step up to get into a shower tray. Nowadays, with fashion pushing things forward, obviously bathrooms are now trendy. They're definitely fashionable and obviously different colours and stuff. But you guys have certainly sort of evolved a long way in that time. So what are the sort of key points that you guys have had to sort of challenges?
I think there's two things really, Darren, and you're absolutely right. From a product perspective, things have changed quite considerably, and I'll touch on that in a second. But I think from our perspective as a manufacturer, we've developed internally as much as anything else because we only make shower trays. So our number one USP is that we do it better and brighter and more efficiently than anybody else. And we've over the last 6 to 7 years particularly, we've invested a huge amount not only in the machinery and the way that we operate, but in the people. And we've invested in people who have come from manufacturing excellence outside of the bathroom industry and outside of shower trays to bring that excellence into our business.
Yep. For efficiencies as well?
Efficiencies, but not just efficiencies, but consistency. Consistency of quality. Because we sell a tray, it's a first fix item. If we sell it to a distributor, they sell it out through the line and it ends up with Mrs. Jones's house. If it's wrong, it has to come all the way back through the chain and the plumber's sat waiting because he can't progress to the next stage of the fit. So we are constantly looking for ways to improve the minutest element of quality to make sure that the fewer trays that go out that have issues, the better. From a fashion perspective, you're absolutely right. We launched the JT40. Well, that would have been 12, 14 years ago now. And that was the first major step to go from the big trays that you were talking about to something a little bit more slender and a little more slimline. Trays have still gone further, and we're now, with the JT Evolved, we're at 25 mil. Very easy to fit flush to the ground, so they give that confidence of a shower tray, but they've got the sort of wet room appeal and the hotel look that everybody's looking for.
I mean, with that as well, with the modern bathroom with the extra heads, you can get some big drencher heads. Obviously, with only the sort of 25, you obviously got a lot of water coming down on a very small run of water. You know all the technical terms. But from that point of view, that's a challenge in itself now. And I think with some people and some manufacturers of maybe lesser quality products, that's definitely been an issue with consumers.
The engineering, there's two elements there. There's the perception from the consumer, and there's the engineering element, as you say. The fact of the matter is, if you've got a relatively small shower tray and a whacking great head sticking out 35, 40 litres a minute, you're never gonna, you're literally pushing water uphill. But you're absolutely right. For the vast majority of showers where you're talking about 12 to 15 litres a minute, we have to make sure that the trays are engineered so the water disappears. And we do that very well. We make sure not only in terms of the way that the tray is engineered, but also the wastes that we use have the capability to get rid of those large amounts of water that where it's necessary.
There's a lot of water in some some of the instances. And from a point of view of like having giving the customer the extra value for money, we talk. I think for me, you look at the whole range of shower trays, and move for us as a business is challenging to move some of these big shower trays around. And obviously, but from a customer's point of view, having a nice Fusion tray, so it's over there in the background, that's the Evolve tray over there. That's why I'm looking at it. But from my point of view, have the extra value for that huge tray and the look and the feel. How do you quantify that, in your opinion, with the actual the design, the R&D, all this has to go into this tray, but bringing the value of product to the consumer? Is that a challenge for you guys?
It is a challenge, of course it is. Especially when a consumer will only buy a bathroom once every 8 or 9 years, and we like many other bathroom businesses are not recognised by the consumer. So we very much rely on the retailers, the partners who are selling these products, and the tradespeople who are used to fitting our product to reinforce the fact that it's a quality product. It has to look right for the consumer to like it. Of course it does. So design, colour, function, all of that has to be right for the consumer to be attracted to the product. But then they need that reinforcement. And the reinforcement comes from, we'll make 250,000 shower trays this year.
It's phenomenal.
That's not bad for a little old place in Leeds.
That's phenomenal.
So we need the reinforcement of the plumber, of the people who are selling our products through retailers and internet and so on, to make sure that they're selling it because they know it's a quality product. That's where the value to the consumer comes, and they know that they're getting a quality product. It's the foundations of the shower. It goes in as a first fix item, and everything else is built from there upwards, really. So it's so important.
I suppose that's another dichotomy for you guys, is having easy for the installer to install as well, because there's obviously extra cost goes into that for you guys, from having it make sure it fits for the installer, to make it easy for him to want to fit it again and not have a problem. But equally, obviously, that probably costs you guys a bit more money to do it, so you're sat there.
No, because it comes down to the engineering element. Two things. One is how you communicate to the installer how that tray should be installed properly. So that's making sure we invest time, our engineering prowess, and marketing into the instructions so that they're clear. So that people so it's very clear, both pictorially and through words, to show how we fit it. And we use videos on our website to help with that as well. And then when we're putting things on legs, engineering those leg sets to make them as easy as possible. Making the adjustments as easy as possible for the plumber, because as you say, the last thing they want to do is A, get it wrong, and B, difficult for it to be fitted.
Definitely.
So yeah, you're right.
And with fashion ever changing in the bathroom, with the likes, obviously kitchens, bathrooms follow a huge trend.
Yep.
In probably from the likes of Grand Designs and people's inspirational magazines and designers all the way through. How do you guys as a business kind of like not what would be at the forefront of that innovation and fashion?
We've seen over the years, we've seen many manufacturers in various product categories. They introduce change for change's sake, and that's not always a good thing. So we've concentrated on the right style of product, and as you rightly say, colours are one big thing that do change, and we've made our mistakes. Historically, we've tended to look at sort of window frames and kitchen cabinets and so on, and look for colour changes and trends. But very much we take our mantle more from bathroom tiles these days and the tile manufacturers and seeing what's coming through there, and that can help us determine which products we're going to launch in which colours. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And how long does that, just have interest, how long does that cycle tend to take for you guys? If you're sort of seeing and identifying a range of, say, new tiles, you think, yes, this is going to be the next big thing, because we never know, but we obviously have to try and sit on the back of a wave. And you think, it's gonna, you might pick a new colour and then start to evolve with the grey or something. How long does that sort of take to come through? Is it quite quick for you guys to move?
It can be. Yeah. It can be. If we are we're a mass volume producer, so we tend to come in on the back of those trends when they're established, if the truth be known, rather than take a risk in terms of launching something, because to launch a new product in 26 sizes,
that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of investment and so on. So we need to be pretty certain that a colour is going to stick.
Okay.
When we're talking about design and actually launching a new product in a new style, that could take 18 months, because we'll spend a lot of time on the engineering, as you mentioned earlier, and making sure it works properly, because we only sell shower trays, so we've got to make sure they work.
Yeah,
otherwise we haven't got much of a business left.
Definitely.
So about 18 months from the design conception all the way through to the prototypes. Then we will get our customers and our plumbers involved to get their two penneth worth, to make sure that actually we're doing the right thing. So that's when we're launching a brand new product. Yeah,
that's good. And from a manufacturer's perspective, obviously the market is changing now, especially obviously for our passionate trading depot and myself. We've got that sort of like the shift from traditional bricks and mortar merchants, the shift to online. How as a manufacturer do you see that playing out? Just in your...
With my crystal ball, you mean?
Yeah, well, obviously we've got ideas about where we think it's going to go. Everyone's got an idea. Follow the retail, or does it follow? Is traditionally it's going to stay the same, because plumbers are still going to be plumbers? Are they still going to be today's typical 40-year-old plumber? Will still go to a trade counter and buy? Is that going to stay?
It's a fascinating conversation, isn't it, Darren? And as an internet retailer, you'll have a very strong opinion about the way that it's going to go. Look, I don't think we've seen change from a technological perspective that we've seen over the last 10 years and will continue to see. We haven't seen that since the Industrial Revolution, in the way that technology is actually changing the way we live and changing the way we operate. Yep. My personal opinion is that bricks and mortars won't disappear, not a chance. Online won't take over the world, but there will morph into some form of format. Yeah. There will be a new form of format where online obviously plays a huge part, both in terms of transaction but also research, as it's doing more and more.
Definitely today, yeah.
Bricks and mortar businesses will not be able to survive without the support of an online presence in some way, shape, or form. But they will be able to add value. There will definitely be how that format ends up in the next 10 years. I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
You talk about the traditional role of the plumber and the merchant counter. Again, very, very interesting as we move through a generation, the next 10, 15 years, we move into a generation of people who have grown up with a phone in their hands. Yeah. They have no fear about ordering stuff. Yeah. The fear of ordering product and having to get it back to the source, as that's been delivered, that's been dissipated, because you've got a 360 supply chain now where it's as easy to take something back as it is to have it delivered.
Yep.
So there's no question that the dynamics will change. I wish I had a crystal ball. I really do. But it will continue to evolve and it will continue to change. I've got no qualms about that.
Yeah. I've gone.
No, I was just saying, but I still feel there will be a role for both to play.
Yeah, definitely. There will be 100%. I mean, something that we're seeing more and more on a daily basis is manufacturers are starting to trying to segment the market to try and understand each section. So actually, whereas before they were starting to see the online as a bit of a pain maybe, and they're also saying, it does serve a purpose and we need to cater for that in its own area. So a lot of people are getting an online channel manager or someone got channel directors, and they're looking after this online channel, and they're dealing with the retail side, which was the traditional sheds, as I call them, the B&Qs of the line. Yep. They're quite used to having that side and traditional merchants separate channels, but they always use kind of the online either sat with the B&Q of the world or it's sat with the traditional merchant. I think we're starting to see people put these three places in. They got their retail side, the trade side, and the online side, and kind of treating them differently because they all need different avenues. So we're starting to see that shift at the minute.
So you're absolutely right, and any manufacturer that ignores online or think that the internet's never going to take off is obviously a blind fool. Yeah. Managing it in conjunction with existing channels can bring a lot of challenges for manufacturers. There's no doubt about that, particularly where you have a strong brand and there's a strong presence. But we as brands and businesses have to embrace it. We have to understand that it's not in its final format now, and we have to use it as a research tool, we have to use it as a transactional tool, and we have to work with the guys who are doing very well in it, like yourselves. And the challenge we've always had, being a big lump of stone, is moving it exactly
without getting damaged or broken or
absolutely.
And that will still remain an issue whether you deal with a trades merchant to a certain degree or an online.
Of course,
that part of it will still exist, and that's definitely an issue for everybody in the industry.
But you're right, and as we've said, the online presence is playing more and more of a part, and be that from a transactional basis for the tradesman or for the consumer who then buys and then brings the tradesman in. The market is changing on a very rapid basis, and we need to be aware of that, and we need to work with the people at the forefront, and we need to work around these solutions. With these problems and deliver solutions for them. Because it's not going to go away.
No, definitely not. I think if you do treat it in different channels, what you tend to find is that actually what the online needs is something maybe slightly different. And then if you can do really well at that, I think the people who are doing well will win that market early, and that's like any other thing. No, that's really good. And then from the future, obviously, the smart home is a big area. Not, you could say not so relevant to yourselves, but I think it will be, because the smart home with the Google, Alexa, and all of those sort of areas. But where do you see the smart home in your opinion moving forward for the business as well as personally? Let's focus on bathrooms and
the one area that you although there are gimmicks and there are elements that are going to make your life better. The fundamental thing that I think that the smart home will help from a bathroom perspective is water saving. And how we play our part in that, because all we do is get rid of water. So whether it's 20 litres or 10 litres, we just get rid of the stuff. So it will. I think from our perspective, actually we're in a better position, because the biggest challenge we've had is getting rid of more water historically, as people have gone bigger and bigger with the shower heads and more powerful showers. As that changes, our trays and wastes are more than capable of coping with that. From our perspective as a business, I'm not sure the smart element is the big thing. It's probably about material. Probably it's about recyclable material. It's probably about the greener material that we can use to get our product to the marketplace. And are there more intelligent materials that we can that can help enhance the user experience? The last big launch we had was about anti-slip, and that's really developed. 1 in 5 of our trays that go out of here now are anti-slip.
That must be a big change, because that
massive. Massive. And we started with that from a more of a contract perspective, and then as it's filtered into the retailers and people see the benefit. So if you've got little children, little kids, and shampoo don't tend to mix well on a slippy, slidey shower tray.
Yeah, my kids are falling over before a tray.
So actually the retailer understands that there's actually a need for the consumer, and now that the fact that it's, you can't see anything, it makes no difference to the appearance of the tray. You can't tell about it when you stand on it. So we're seeing a lot more of that sort of added value pull through. Via the consumer as well as at a contract level.
Yeah, because I was just thinking actually, with an anti-slip, traditionally you would have thought to yourself, it would have been the traditional anti-slip in the pattern on the tray, quite abrasive on your feet when you stood in the tray.
Yep.
But it's not like that.
No, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, but the consumers may think that in their mind.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so that's a message that we.
Yeah, it is a perception. It is a perception thing, but in the same way that shower trays 15, 20 years ago were like baby trampolines. Yeah, they're not like that anymore. They're very thin, but they're very solid. Yeah.
So you could even think like Alexa telling you when you've left your house that you've just dumped 55 litres of water down the drain. Or whatever.
I hadn't even considered that, but you're absolutely right.
It can pop up saying because your waste is now a smart waste on your tray, and it says you have do you
well done. You only did 20 litres today.
Yeah. You could have a little bit of a competition with yourself to who in the family who could reduce the amount of water. I mean, I know that other brands from the showering perspective are looking at monitoring water.
Okay.
But there's no reason why. Obviously, that's only ones that have got a smart process that end.
Yeah.
Obviously, from the other side, if you've got a standard valve, then they're going to have the water measuring. So
I guess
you guys could look at that from a green perspective.
You're right, absolutely. I think probably just to take that a little bit further, we could probably play a part in water recycling and using recycling water to use, whether that goes back into the toilet to flush the toilet or whatever it might be.
Grey water source.
Yeah, grey water. Yeah. So I'm sure there's something in there somewhere, Darren.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds like you've got the ideas, anyway.
No, I don't. Definitely ain't got the ideas. Thank you for your time today, John.
Thanks for coming.
The best. No, it's been
good to see you this far north.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't normally get much above Birmingham, but going around the factory today was amazing. I think it's from a manufacturing point of view to see all the different sort of the individual pieces from the simplicity of it. I know it's not simple to manufacture a shower tray, but it looks fairly simple to go through the process of manufacturing a tray. But obviously, there's a lot of expertise, and you mentioned some of the guys who've been here for 20 years or 25 years.
I think that's probably the one thing that we haven't covered is in terms of the culture within the business and the people, because it's great me waxing lyrical about how good the quality of the product is and so on and so forth, but it's about the people, and we have such a low turn of staff here, and we've had people who have been here for 25, 28 years out of the 30 years.
Yeah, wow.
And you can't buy their expertise.
No.
And we have it's a very family orientated cultured business. We're a small team, we're very passionate about what we do. And we're very privileged. We're very privileged in what we do, and the people we work with within our industry as well. So
definitely.
yeah,
like a good little family.
Absolutely,
definitely. Well, thank you very much for bringing us up here, and brilliant.
Good to have you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.